Hi, I'm Nicole Kennedy Green, and I'm here with Justin Field of Peer Tutors of Maryland. And today we're going to tell you all about his company and how they serve homeschoolers. Okay, Justin, take it away.
Hi, my name is Justin Field. I'm in my 15th year of teaching. I've taught high school and now I'm teaching middle school. And so I've taught some of the best students that I've ever taught in my career over the past couple of years in middle school. And so last year during COVID, I had the idea to use what I've been doing in the classroom in a way to serve families outside my classroom. Also, I set up a peer tutoring program while the kids were still in the schoolhouse, where I had my students tutoring the 6th and 7th graders in the building. So then we kept that going when everything went virtual. And then I had the idea like my students are going to be 9th graders next year. And how cool would it be if I could reward their hard work as students by giving them their first job as tutors, and they would work with me, and then I could reach more families than I could just offering tutoring services when it's just me. Not only that, but what I've noticed in adolescence especially is when students get to hear from other students, they can really reach each other in a way that sometimes adults can't get there, or sometimes they're just not listening as well. They listen to each other. So there's that. And then also, when you have to explain something, you have to know it. So in my time in high school, I would get some juniors, they would get the questions right, and then they would say, I know how to do it, I just can't explain it. And that was never acceptable to me. I think you need to keep working on communication, and if you really know how to do something, you can explain it. And if you just know how to do the process, then maybe you could grow in your understanding. So what we do at Peer Tutors of Maryland is we always say to the students, all right, you know it? Okay, then let's write the success criteria. Can you write out all the details of the problem? All right, now use that to help someone else and communicate. And you might find different ways that they're thinking about it that grow your understanding. And you might find that they're challenging your understanding. And then you have to think about the topic that you thought you knew in a different way. And I know that this works because this is what it's like to be a teacher. I teach the same thing. I've taught the same thing for 15 years. I'm still growing in my understanding, every time I teach it again. And so the students get to do that. It's a win-win-win though, because not only do the students get their first job, I'm able to offer them a good wage for their age. And I'm also able to offer families a really good rate because of the team that I'm working with, which is me, a few other teachers, and then the peer tutors. We have high school and college age. So I'm going to share my screen and show you the details of session 4 so you can get a feel of what it looks like. And then we'll talk a little bit about the program details and even the summer session. So session 4 is starting next week, April 12th. And if you want to join late, that is not a problem. But it's going to be 8 weeks until June 3rd. And that way it coincides with the 4th quarter. We offer groups for math and reading. And then there's also one-on-one sessions available as well for once or twice a week. So that's our school year program. And it's meant to benefit students who are in public or private school. It's meant to supplement their learning, help them become more individualized. But for homeschool, we can be your math instruction. If you want to join for homeschool, then I would be the math teacher, and I will even do the instruction, and then I'll have peer tutors there to help. So they get the instruction from me, a teacher, but then when they're practicing, they have peers who have been successful that are there to help them and are being trained ongoingly to guide them through the process and that want to be there. And then when your students understand it, they're even challenged to help other people in the group. So it's always It's always about building your understanding, going to the next level. So we're teaching the students that just being able to do the work, that's one level. But then if you can explain it, if you can offer feedback, critique someone's work, that's the next level. And then even further than that, we can talk about real world applications. Because I never want another student to come to me and say, when am I ever going to use this in my life? This is a bunch of nonsense. That's not true. And what we need to do as math teachers is we need to challenge that and say, math is useful. You just got to find it. All right. You can go to the grocery store. You can use trigonometry. Of course, you don't have to, but the things in our world have been built by mathematics. We can't have this Zoom call without some complex coding, without some machinery that definitely was designed with careful mathematics. So that's the highest level. And so we're always trying to go there. And the students at each level should feel supported and they should feel motivated to keep moving. And that's what we want. We want students to want to take control of their learning, and we want them to keep trying to get higher. And I just want to say that this is April right now, and doing this virtually with my middle school students right now, I have really been pleased to hear them say things like, hold on, Mr. Field, let me try this first. Or I'll say, do you have any questions? And they'll say, I've already posted them, Mr. Field. You can go right there. And then we can, when we start on my math classes, we start out with the students' questions. So I'll show you that as well. But I just wanted to show you the times, and also the cost is very low. And again, that's because we're all working as a team of teachers and peer tutors. So it's not like you're paying for a gifted ninth grader to teach your child. It's like you're paying for a team, and we're just using our resources in an efficient way. Then we also have a summer session, and that's going to be in the morning. And again, this would be for students in public or private school. This would prepare them for the year, but for homeschool, this could be their math instruction for whatever level. And of course, when the school year starts, they can just keep going where they're at. So I'll show you a little bit about how the program works so you can get a sense of how the instruction can be individualized, but just to say that they can definitely get whatever they want out of it. It's available to them. So, and then the summer session is from June 21st to August 12th. So last thing, Mrs. Green, if I can say one more thing, is to show you the website. So the website it's a Google site, but if you type in peertutorsofmaryland.com, it'll take you right here. And that's Ellie and Jan, two of our students in the group. So this is how you sign up for the session, and there's the flyers again. But what I wanted to show you here was our system. So this is really important to me because people have different philosophies of learning, and I don't agree with all of them. So what I think about learning, I think the parent is the first responsibility. They have the first responsibility of their child's learning. Obviously, the child needs to do the learning, but the parent needs to make sure that happens. And in public school, it sometimes seems like the parents say the teachers need to make sure that happens, and I don't agree with that. I think the students are the executive branch, they have to execute, and they have 7 responsibilities that we've given them. So we want them to watch instruction or read instruction and take notes. We want to teach them to do that. We want them to complete their work. A lot of it is online, so they can see if it's right or wrong. They can see a solution on the computer before they come to each session. They should do that, because that way, when they come to the session, it's about their questions. It's not about, what are we doing today, Mr. Field? It's about, okay, I know we're doing linear functions, okay? And I already tried this and I got 2 out of 5. So these 3 questions, and I looked at the solutions, and I understand the first step, but the second step, Mr. Field, can we start right there? That kind of a student is going to do really well. And, if the teachers and the parents are working together, we can totally get them there. Not only are they going to do well in the program, but I've set it up this way so that even when they're out of the program, they're going to do well with anyone they have to learn from. And so that's my goal, is to make the students self-directed, independent learners, so that whether they are learning from me or anyone, and even in college, when they get those professors that they don't know they're going to get, the ones that are there to research and that have a very thick accent and can be very difficult to understand, you still got to learn calculus 3 from them, because they know how to get the textbook and they know how to come with their questions. Teachers, we're setting the expectations, we're facilitating the discussion in the groups, we're setting up the partner pairs, we're looking at the organizer to see what questions the students have asked, what they've said about it, and then we're giving the students the next steps and working with them to set their goals. But we need the parents to be monitoring the work. So everything that we give, parents can easily log into, see their child's data. They can see the organizer. They can make sure their child's coming prepared. They can make sure their child's attending, and parents are always welcomed in our sessions. So you don't have to call ahead of time and say, excuse me, Mr. Field, could I just sit in on this one session? You can be as involved as you wish. But I've set it up so that if you only want, to be involved for a few minutes each week and just monitor your child because they're going to get it done, then you can do that too. But if all three of these are working together, then we've seen very high results. And I'll just end with the reviews of last summer. I asked the students and parents to review, and they all said very positive things that you can read on the website right there. Oh, one more thing though. In the summer, we have Ask an Expert sessions, and that's to give those students a chance to access the high level of, when am I ever going to use this? So we had 7 professionals come in and talk about their careers, what they do, and the students have to find the math that they're learning in what the professional is talking about. So that's just a little bit about our system, but as you can see, pretty excited about it, and I've seen some really positive results so far.
Thanks so much. I'm really excited about, and I really enjoyed the 3 branches of government part, the way you broke that down. And I think that for homeschoolers, that will resonate because it's exactly, the way, or usually our model of how we do things. So those of us who do tend to use another teacher, definitely understanding everyone's role and putting the students, in the forefront and having them, encouraging them. I don't want to say making them, encouraging them to take ownership of their work and understand that they are also a stakeholder is really important. Can you talk to us a little bit, Mr. Field, about how Peer Tutors of Maryland has been impacted by COVID, or how you were able to just keep on going with it? What's the number one impact you saw from COVID, and how did you manage that?
So I started the actual LLC, even though I've been doing this type of instruction for a while. I started Peer Tutors of Maryland last April because I saw a window of opportunity with COVID. I saw what was happening in the 4th quarter with my students and students around the country, and I said, goodness, there's going to be some learning loss if we don't do something. And families shouldn't have to pay, some of these places exorbitant amounts of money when we can offer a service at a better rate. So COVID is what caused this whole thing to flourish. We started last summer with 80 students. It's amazing, And so that's how we started. And then we just kept it going during the school year. My team of teachers and tutors grew from 7 to I have 19 right now. So we have 4 teachers and 15 peer tutors, and it's really been a blessing to watch.
Yeah. So speaking of the peer tutors, let's talk a little bit about that. How do students get to be an actual tutor?
That's a good question. So everyone that's a peer tutor, the original idea and what I'm going with is they're my best former students. So I reached out to the parents of my 8th graders after they graduated from 8th grade, and I said, if you like your child to be a peer tutor, it's available to them. And then they reached back if they wanted to, and I started the team. Then from there, they refer other people, you know, so they say, oh, Mr. Field, I have a friend, I think they would be a good peer tutor. And then if anyone wants to be a peer tutor that I don't know, then I just put them through a training process. So I say, all right, here's a bunch of Khan Academy assignments, show me what you can do. And I get to know them, and we train them in the process. And over time, once I get comfortable and I feel and I can see that, yes, they're going to be a good fit, then, you know, I say, all right, it's your time. But I really don't want to, I want to have this idea about backed up by data about who my tutors are, and feel comfortable saying to a parent, I know exactly who could be effective in helping your child. And then I trust them, and I'm going to be there to supervise them. So once, you know, it usually takes a month and a half for people I don't know to show me all that. And of course they don't all, but that's how they become a peer tutor. So either that way, either by referral and then me putting them through that process, or being in the program. Once they're in the Peer Tutors of Maryland for at least a session, then they're my student. And if I get to know them and see like, you are a peer tutor of Maryland, then they can also have a job.
Excellent. I think that is a very, very good opportunity for students. And again, homeschoolers have such flexibility with regards to our schedules that I'm sure that will appeal to some of the families who have students who may be math strong or even math confident and just need to move on in their coursework so that they can get a hold of a real world example too of how they can use math. Like you were saying before, there are lots of ways to use it, and this may not have been something they even knew that they could do while still in school themselves. The last question I had for you was, Mr. Field, just, you know, you've given us lots of really good information, and I'm sure the parents are going to be thrilled about what you have to offer. Well, I have two questions. So the first one was, you talked a little bit about how what your sessions will look like for homeschoolers, and of course I know the answer to this, but can you talk a little bit more about you as the teacher, as opposed to, or one of you and a teammate being the teacher as opposed to the peer tutor, like in a tutoring session where you take over instruction for homeschool families? And then we'll come back and I have one last question.
So yeah, so what it looks like is and you know, with a homeschool where I'm doing the instruction, what it looks like is similar to the summer session. So in the summer session for Algebra 1, Geometry, Algebra 2 and up, those are the classes that I'll be teaching. I would be teaching that class, and I have my 2 or 3 peer tutors in the Zoom call with all the students. And so I'd give the instruction the same way I would in class, and then we break out. And so based on the data, I know where the students in the class are at. So I know who's struggling, who's on pace, who's already done, because I gave the work early. And then from there, I use that to form cooperative groups or partner pairs, or I stay with the group. And so last summer, you know, we would have one of the peer tutors work with the students who needed extension. They already mastered the objective. And then we had another peer tutor to work with the students that needed, you know, some extra support. And then we would have some students working in partner pairs amongst each other, because they were ready to work, you know, ready to work with a partner. So that's how it works in terms of a class. In terms of just a study group or a one-on-one session, which is mostly what is happening during the school year, the tutors will have a group of 4 to 7 students, and then for a one-on-one session, if it's a one-on-one, and then there's a teacher in the Zoom call. And so what we're doing is we are monitoring, you know, observing all the different sessions, So we're going between the breakout rooms and, giving feedback. And we're also there with the ask for help button in Zoom. So everyone, if the tutors get stuck or the students get stuck or they don't understand the explanation, they click the ask for help button and the teacher shows up.
Excellent. Okay, so I just had one more question for you. I want to ask you to go ahead and give us whatever final information you want us to know about Peer Tutors in Maryland. And then before we wrap up, make sure to tell us all the places that families can find you. I know, so you want to give us the website again, tell us about any socials, email, whatever else you want us to know, how we can get in touch with you.
Yeah, so the Peer Tutors in Maryland, I really feel like is kind of a secret right now. I feel like once the word really gets out, we're going to be full. I can offer classes at different levels, but we're only taking 25 student class load at the most, and the reason being that's my normal class load, and now I'm going to do it with a team of peer tutors. So I know that I can get the job done really well and have people be satisfied. But yeah, so I just want people to know, like, sign up for session 4, sign up for the summer session because we have spaces available. But once it gets out, then we're gonna have to tell some people, sorry, we're full, or just wait till we get those peer tutors trained. And then where can you find us? So just send me an email. The Peer Tutors of Customer Service is my cell phone number. So that is designed that way. So you feel like, I just need to call Mr. Field, it's purposefully a small thing so that you feel like, yeah, I know the guy who's helping this and I can talk to him. It's not a big organization in California that I'm entrusting my math instruction to. So we are on peertutorsofmaryland.com. You can Google Peer Tutors of Maryland and you can find us that way. I think that it comes up right there. And our Facebook page right there. So yeah, just Google Peer Tutors in Maryland and you'll find all the information you need, and my cell phone and email as well.
Excellent. So I did want to have one final question that just came to me. Peer Tutors of Maryland, correct me if I'm wrong, is not limited to students in Maryland, right? It's just
yes.
Mr. Field is in Maryland.
Yes, thank you. So it's Peer Tutors of Maryland, and the reason, like I said, is because I wanted to have a small company and then that can duplicate itself with another middle school teacher in the same position, because I really feel like the structure that I have is it could be really helpful and could spread around and I could train people. So this is Peer Tutors of Maryland, but we also have a company in Alabama that's working with us. They're Peer Tutors of KWLA, but we have students in Georgia, in Virginia, in Maryland, and yeah, so we can help students in any state.
Very, very good. So I am so happy that we had a chance to finally get together and make this video. We've been trying for a few weeks and I'm going to share it widely. So I'm just going to say, as we get ready to sign off, be sure to just get ready, Mr. Field, because I know that everybody's going to be like trying to get in and seeing how they can get their child into one of your tutoring sessions. So again, I'm Nicole Kennedy Green, and this is Justin Field of Peer Tutors of Maryland. And hopefully you all will get the math support that you need from his company and his group of peer tutors. Thanks for now. See you later. Bye.